Hola, Diana. I just got back from some criminal thing. I don't know. My lawyer called me or WhatsApped me this morning at like 8:30. Elizabeth was in class. Her class starts at 8. And he's like, you got to get to the Fiscalia. Right now they're waiting for you. There's a translator, blah, blah, blah. And this is like weird as like out of nowhere all of a sudden. So I had no idea what it was for. And I got real excited because I thought maybe they have some information. Maybe something is going to happen. Because I just found out, and I told my lawyers about this. Elizabeth came home on Monday from being with Alan all weekend. And then all of a sudden out of the blue, she said, "Mommy, do I have your egg?" And I'm like, "Elizabeth, what are you talking about? What do you mean?" And she's like, "I don't know. Do I have your egg?" And I'm like, "I gave birth to you, of course." And I showed her pictures of me pregnant with her. And then the next day, Tuesday, she said, "Mommy, do I have your blood?" And then that's when I put 2 and 2 together that I think Alan past weekend told Elizabeth that I'm not her real mommy, because you know how I got the egg donor? I got an egg donor. And so he is telling Elizabeth this. Meanwhile, I wasn't even going to tell her until she was much older. But I think luckily she's too young to understand the concept. But basically he's putting things in her mind for when she goes to her psychology evaluation, so she's thinking that I'm not her real mother because she doesn't even have my blood. So then I told my lawyers this, and they didn't seem too concerned about it. And then I get that call this morning or WhatsApp from Victor, and I was like, "Oh my God, is this about what I told you the other day?" And he's like, "No, it's about some charges from before." So anyway, I dropped everything. I brought Elizabeth over to the neighbor's house, and she had to leave in the middle of class because I wanted to get there because I thought something was going to happen after 4 years, after over a year of trying to move to Florida. So I get there, and the woman is talking about some stupid charges I filed back in January when Alan pulled a stunt, videotaping me and stuff. And I'm like, "Oh, okay." And then it turns out she tells me, she said, "Do you have a boleta?" And I'm like, "No, I just found out about this meeting this morning." And she's like, "I told your lawyers about this." And I said, "When did you tell them?" And she said, August 17th. So obviously my lawyers that I pay a lot of money to and rely on for everything, for my life, basically my life is in their hands, didn't even bother to tell me about this meeting. And then he just WhatsApped me this morning and says, "You got to get over there right now." And then didn't even tell me what it was for or anything. And then, so I'm kind of like upset. And then I was talking to her and I'm like, "Is this going to help me move to Florida at all? Like getting these charges?" And she's like, "No, this is criminal. That's decided by family." And I'm like, "So seriously, what's even the point of this? I mean, this is costing me money. I got to file these charges. I got to pay my lawyers. And if it's not going to help me move to Florida, I don't even want to do this." She's like, "Well, it's already been filed, blah, blah, blah." So basically, this will just get me another restraining order against Alan, and the only thing he does is use it against me. Like when I call him up, like one time he picked her up from school early without telling me, and I called him up. I'm like, to ask him if he picked Elizabeth up, but he didn't return my call. And then like 2 or 3 hours later, I'll get an email back from him saying, "Yes, I picked up Elizabeth." And he says we cannot contact each other because of the restraining order you filed against me. And then he's telling the judge that basically I'm filing frivolous restraining orders against him. So basically, I think it works against me to file a restraining order. So I was telling the woman this, And she just went ahead and wrote a report anyway. And then I basically spilled my guts out and told her everything. And the report was like 2 pages long, just generic crap. So this was a completely waste of time. And basically, it boils down to the judge will have the ultimate say on whether I can leave or not with Elizabeth. So the judge could say, no, you cannot leave with Elizabeth. Elizabeth must stay here and you must get a job. Which, in that case, I will have to move to Florida because there's no way I can't support myself on minimum wage here because it's like $2 an hour. And I don't speak Spanish. So that's just not doable. So hopefully, if I'll still get visitation rights if she says you cannot move with Elizabeth. So basically, it doesn't matter that I have sole custody. It doesn't matter that he may be going to jail. Because I was telling the woman about that today. And she's like, that's still in the works because he's now on his second appeal. She said it was in the 4th courts. And then they'll decide what happens, if he's going to be convicted or not. Even though he's already been convicted once, appealed it, and then the conviction was upheld, he gets to appeal it again. So that's still in the works, and that's been going on literally for 3 years. And I got sole custody, but basically it's still up to the judge. None of that matters. The judge could take that advice, she could look at all that proof and take it into account, or she can just not even look at it and basically give Alan custody, override all that and give Alan custody. So I learned that today, and yeah, that's where my life is right now. So